Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm reviewing the book How to Stop Overthinking by Chase Hill and Scott Sharp. This book provides a deep dive into overcoming procrastination, curing laziness, and combating perfectionism through simple 5-minute practices. Let's explore this book in detail and uncover the strategies it offers to help you take control of your thoughts and live a more balanced life. Overthinking is a pervasive issue in modern society. With the constant influx of information and the pressure to perform at our best, many of us fall into the trap of overanalyzing every decision, replaying past events in our minds, and worrying excessively about the future. Chase Hill and Scott Sharp's book How to Stop Overthinking is an essential guide for anyone who feels trapped in their own thoughts and is looking for a way to break free from this cycle. The book begins by examining the nature of overthinking. Hill and Sharp define overthinking as a habit of mind that involves excessively focusing on potential problems, hypothetical scenarios, and worst-case outcomes. This kind of thinking often leads to mental exhaustion, indecision, and a sense of being stuck. The authors argue that while thinking and planning are crucial for success, overthinking is counterproductive. It creates a mental fog that makes it difficult to see things clearly and make decisions confidently. One of the key points the authors make is that overthinking often stems from a fear of making mistakes. Many people overthink because they want to avoid failure at all costs. They believe that by considering every possible outcome and analyzing every detail, they can prevent things from going wrong. However, this approach often backfires. The more we overthink, the more anxious we become, and the less likely we are to take action. This leads to a vicious cycle of procrastination and self-doubt. Hill and Sharp delve into the psychological mechanisms behind overthinking. They explain that our brains are wired to focus on potential threats as a survival mechanism. This was useful for our ancestors, who needed to be constantly on the lookout for dangers in their environment. However, in today's world, this instinct can lead to overthinking, as we perceive threats and risks in situations that are not truly dangerous. The authors argue that understanding this evolutionary background can help us recognize when our minds are falling into the trap of overthinking and take steps to counteract it. The book also explores the role of perfectionism in overthinking. Many people who struggle with overthinking are also perfectionists. They set impossibly high standards for themselves and are constantly worried about falling short. This perfectionism drives them to overanalyze every decision, fearing that one wrong move will lead to failure or rejection. Hill and Sharp offer strategies for combating perfectionism, such as setting realistic goals, focusing on progress rather than perfection, and practicing self-compassion. A significant portion of the book is dedicated to practical strategies for stopping overthinking. Hill and Sharp emphasize the importance of mindfulness, which involves staying present in the moment and observing our thoughts without judgment. They explain that mindfulness can help us break the habit of overthinking by allowing us to recognize when our minds are spiraling into unproductive thought patterns. By bringing our attention back to the present, we can interrupt the cycle of overthinking and focus on what we can control in the here and now. Another key strategy the authors discuss is the importance of setting boundaries with our thoughts. This involves recognizing that not every thought that enters our minds is worth our attention. Hill and Sharp suggest that we can train our minds to let go of unproductive thoughts by practicing cognitive diffusion, a technique that involves distancing ourselves from our thoughts and viewing them as mental events rather than facts. This can help us stop getting caught up in negative thinking and focus on what truly matters. The authors also address the role of self-compassion in overcoming overthinking. They argue that many people who overthink are overly critical of themselves. They beat themselves up for making mistakes or not living up to their own expectations. This self-criticism only fuels the cycle of overthinking, as it creates a constant sense of anxiety and pressure. Hill and Sharp advocate for treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a friend. By practicing self-compassion, we can reduce the stress and anxiety that contribute to overthinking and approach challenges with a more balanced and constructive mindset. Hill and Sharp also explore the impact of overthinking on relationships. They discuss how overthinking can lead to misunderstandings, miscommunications, and unnecessary conflict in our interactions with others. When we overthink, we may read too much into other people's words and actions, assuming negative intentions or outcomes that may not be there. This can lead to strained relationships and a sense of isolation. The authors offer advice on how to communicate more effectively, manage conflicts constructively, and maintain healthy boundaries in our relationships. They emphasize the importance of being present and listening actively in our interactions, rather than getting caught up in our own thoughts and assumptions. One of the key themes in the book is the idea that overthinking is a habit that can be broken. Hill and Sharp argue that overthinking is not an inherent trait, but rather a learned behavior that we can unlearn. They explain that by consistently applying the strategies outlined in the book, we can rewire our brains to think more clearly and make decisions with confidence. This involves creating new thought patterns and behaviors that replace the old habit of overthinking. The authors also address the importance of taking action. They argue that one of the best ways to stop overthinking is to simply do something. When we take action, we shift our focus from our thoughts to the task at hand, which can help break the cycle of overthinking. Hill and Sharp suggest starting with small, manageable tasks and gradually building up to more significant actions. This not only helps to reduce overthinking, but also builds momentum and confidence. In addition to these strategies, the book also provides practical exercises and tools to help readers implement what they've learned. Hill and Sharp offer a variety of exercises, from mindfulness practices to journaling prompts, that are designed to help readers develop a more mindful and intentional approach to their thoughts. These exercises are simple and can be done in just a few minutes each day, making them accessible to even the busiest readers. Throughout the book, Hill and Sharp emphasize the importance of self-awareness. They argue that the first step to overcoming overthinking is to become aware of our thought patterns and recognize when we are falling into the trap of overthinking. This involves paying attention to our thoughts and emotions and noticing when we are getting caught up in negative or unproductive thinking. The authors suggest keeping a thought journal, where we can write down our thoughts and reflect on them. This can help us identify patterns and triggers that lead to overthinking and develop strategies to counteract them. The book also explores the role of self-care in managing overthinking. Hill and Sharp argue that taking care of our physical and mental well-being is crucial for reducing overthinking. This includes getting enough sleep, eating a healthy diet, exercising regularly, and taking time for relaxation and hobbies. The authors explain that when we are well rested and healthy, we are better equipped to manage stress and make decisions with clarity. They also emphasize the importance of setting aside time for activities that bring us joy and fulfillment, as this can help us stay grounded and focused on what truly matters. Hill and Sharp also discuss the importance of setting goals and creating a plan for achieving them. They argue that having clear goals can help reduce overthinking by giving us a sense of direction and purpose. When we know what we want to achieve, we are less likely to get caught up in worrying about what could go wrong. The authors suggest breaking down goals into smaller, actionable steps and creating a timeline for completing them. This not only helps to reduce overthinking, but also increases our chances of success. As the book progresses, Hill and Sharp delve deeper into the psychological aspects of overthinking. They explore the role of cognitive biases in overthinking, such as the negativity bias, which causes us to focus more on negative experiences than positive ones, and the confirmation bias, which leads us to seek out information that supports our existing beliefs. The authors explain that these biases can distort our thinking and lead to overthinking, as we become fixated on negative outcomes or seek out evidence to support our fears. They offer strategies for recognizing and counteracting these biases, such as challenging negative thoughts and seeking out alternative perspectives. Hill and Sharp also discuss the role of emotional regulation in overcoming overthinking. They argue that our emotions play a significant role in our thought patterns, and learning to manage our emotions can help reduce overthinking. The authors offer techniques for regulating emotions, such as deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, and visualization. They also emphasize the importance of self-compassion in managing emotions, arguing that being kind to ourselves can help us stay calm and focused, even in challenging situations. The authors also address the role of self-identity in overthinking. They argue that many people who struggle with overthinking have a negative self-image, which leads them to doubt their abilities and second-guess their decisions. Hill and Sharp suggest that by developing a more positive and confident self-identity, we can reduce overthinking and approach challenges with greater clarity and resilience. This involves recognizing our strengths, celebrating our achievements, and challenging negative self-beliefs. Hill and Sharp also explore the impact of overthinking on mental health. They discuss how overthinking can contribute to anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. The authors explain that overthinking creates a constant state of stress and worry, which can take a toll on our mental and physical health. They offer strategies for managing mental health, such as seeking support from a therapist, practicing mindfulness, and engaging in regular self-care. The authors emphasize that managing overthinking is not just about changing our thoughts, but also about taking care of our overall well-being. As the book draws to a close, Hill and Sharp offer a final message of hope and encouragement. They remind readers that overcoming overthinking is a journey, and it's okay to take it one step at a time. The authors emphasize that change is possible, and by applying the strategies in the book, readers can learn to manage their thoughts and live a more balanced and fulfilling life. They encourage readers to be patient with themselves and to celebrate their progress along the way. In conclusion, How to Stop Overthinking by Chase Hill and Scott Sharp is a comprehensive guide to understanding and overcoming the habit of overthinking. The book offers a wealth of practical strategies, backed by psychological insights, to help readers take control of their thoughts and live a more intentional life. Whether you struggle with procrastination, perfectionism, or anxiety, this book provides the tools you need to break free from the cycle of overthinking and start living with greater clarity and confidence.